Yo, what's going on, man? Today is September the 21st, 2024, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We have one game on the board that I'm going to talk about in this video specifically, and that is the Indiana Fever as they travel to Connecticut to take on the Connecticut Sun, and what should be one of the more competitive, at least, from a price perspective, one of the games that should be, or one of the series, I guess I should say, should be the most competitive in the first round of the WNBA playoffs. So hit the like button for me as you guys join, and let's get into the matchup. So we got the Fever, like I said, on the road. They're in Connecticut, short travel from DC, where they just lost to the Washington Wizards in the last game of the season. Connecticut Sun coming off a dominating win against the shorthanded Chicago Sky team. We were on the wrong side of that one. I think they ended up winning the game by 25 to 30 points in that one. So now you got them at home, laying 5. Number opened at 4.5. And I want to say it's sharp money. I don't know what kind of money it is, honestly. And honestly, it doesn't matter. All that matters is wins and losses. But the early action is on the Connecticut Sun to cover this number of 4.5. Pushed it to 5. It's up to 5.5 on some books currently right now on at 3:15 Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast. Let's jump into the matchup. We got like I said, Fever coming off 1 day's rest. Connecticut, third straight home game. This will be for them. Both have 1 day's rest. We saw the Indiana Fever start the season off very, very slow. It was really difficult for them to score the basketball. Really, really difficult for them to defend just defend in general. And it took a while to get their offense going. Caitlin Clark kind of hit her stride, and she's been absolutely amazing. Really, really good. Probably the best rookie season that we've probably ever seen in the WNBA. And then on the opposite side, you got the Connecticut Sun, a team that plays very slow, a team that defends, a team that can get hot at spurts throughout the game, but can also go on big droughts throughout the game. So looking at the injury report, I think everybody should be available on both sides. I think it is important to mention that Kelsey Mitchell, she did lead the last game. It was a lower leg injury. Can't remember exactly what she did. It might have rolled her ankle or something, but she was able to come back if she wanted to, and they kind of held her out for precautionary reasons. So she didn't return, but she was back on the sideline, and she could have definitely got back in the game, is what Christy Sykes said after the game. So looking at the matchup, you go back and look at, what's kind of happened. The Connecticut Sun did beat the Indiana Fever 3 of the 4 meetings so far this season. And it's pretty useless, but they have beaten them 9 out of the last 10 in the head-to-head matchup as well. If we look at the first meeting that happened between the two teams, Connecticut absolutely mollywopped the Indiana Fever. They beat them 92 to 71. It's a 6.5 point road favorite. It was Caitlin Clark's first game in the WNBA, and it was kind of her welcome moment. Dejanay was all in her, and it was pretty terrible for the Indiana Fever. Then you fast forward to game 2 in the head-to-head matchup. In Indiana, they hung with Connecticut. Connecticut ended up winning the game 88 to 84, but they didn't cover as a 5.5 point favorite. So the Fever were kind of, hitting their stride, and they played well in that game. Then you fast forward to game 3 of the head-to-head matchup, and in a game where Connecticut was laying 10, and they ended up winning 89 to 72. So they did end up covering by 7 points. Kelsey Mitchell was struggling in that game. She only had 9 points. This was before Lexi Hall got inserted into the starting lineup. She was coming off the bench. And for people who don't know, Lexi Hall is shooting, I want to say, north of 40% from the three-point line. Really, really helped this Indiana Fever offense out a lot. Then you fast forward to the final meeting of the season that was played on August the 28th. Indiana was getting 4 points at home. And they beat Connecticut outright 84 to 80. If people remember back, if you've been watching the ChrisBeCappinn Show, we were on the Indiana Fever in that game as a home dog, because they, for whatever reason, just really turned it on. They played really good defense at home as a dog, and they did in that game, holding Connecticut to 80 points and, like I said, covering 8 points. They shot the ball really well in that game, 13 for 30 from the three-point line, 43%, including 4 for 7 from Kelsey Mitchell. From behind the arc, 4 for 6 from Lexi Hall. And then Caitlin Clark, she did just go 3 for 12, but she also hit 3 threes in that game as well. When I look at the Indiana Fever, since the Olympic break, because they have been doing well in that, in that instance, 9-5 straight up since the Olympic break, 7-6-1 against the number since the Olympic break as well. Connecticut, 10-6 straight up, 8-8 against the number. So you need them to win this game by 5. I kind of think that they can here. But before we do that, let's talk about the total a little bit. Very, very conflicted. It's really difficult for me to take totals when I got an extremely fast-paced team and then I got a slow-paced team because who knows who's going to dictate tempo. In this game, I would say Connecticut typically does dictate tempo and play slow. I'm not sure. The one thing I feel like I can't trust in this game on both sides of the floor, which would be the Indiana Fever defense. I know Connecticut's offense can struggle, but the Fever, 9-5 to the over since the break. Since the Olympic break, and 4-1 to the over if you just look at them on the road since the Olympic break. The Connecticut team, total opposite, 10-5-1 since the Olympic break to the under, 4-2-1 to the under when they played home games since the Olympic break. So these are two teams trending in different directions as far as pace, as far as scoring, as far as defensively. So that makes it difficult for the total. But if we keep going and look at this next graphic here, and this is some of the things that I already kind of talked about, in my opinion, I kind of feel like this is a very, very young Indiana Fever team. Connecticut has a lot of veteran leadership out there. When you think about Alyssa Thomas, you think about DeWanna Bonner, Bree Jones. Stephanie White's a veteran coach as well. This is a really just connected team. The thing I don't like about Connecticut is that their offense can really struggle at times. But I don't think I necessarily have to be too afraid of this Indiana Fever defense that's not playing well at all. I know the last game didn't really mean much, but, Washington goes out there, hangs 90 up. And a lot of it is because they struggle to, they want to play so fast as well. But I think with Indiana being a young team, this being their first, playoff game together, playoffs bring a different energy, man. And I'm willing to put my money on Connecticut in this spot because of that. As you guys can see on the right side, I think that veteran leadership will help. I think Indiana being super young, playing on the road, I think the numbers show that they struggle to defend, and they're playing the number one defensive team. I trust Connecticut to be able to win this game by 2 possessions here. So I'll take Connecticut minus the 5 as the top play in this game for myself. The other thing I was looking at, and you guys can see it on the board here, is Caitlin Clark going under. Her assist 8.5. I think depending on where you're shopping, it's a plus 100 out there on the market. And this is as low as minus 130 as well. So definitely shop around. The books kind of feels like the books don't know exactly, what vig should be associated with Caitlin Clark and her assists. But I thought this number was a tad bit too high. 9 assists against the best defensive team in the WNBA. Connecticut, I think, is going to really try to make a run for it this year. They understand that the window is closing for them to ever win a championship. And they know that the eyes are going to be on them in this game against the Indiana Fever, the same way it was for the first game of the season when they beat them in that instance as well. Caitlin Clark is going to have a lot of fans at the game. Pretty sure it'll be sold out. And because of that, because Connecticut has a lot of lengthy defenders, I'm thinking about Dejanay Carrington. Ty Harris is a pretty good defender. DeWanna Bonner can switch out and potentially slow it down, at least add some length. I do think that Caitlin Clark, and also I just don't think the Indiana Fever offense is going to travel as, the second half of the season offense is going to travel to Connecticut, where we've seen Connecticut really, really lock teams up and struggle to score the basketball. So I'll take Caitlin Clark. It's also, just another tidbit. She's played this team 4 times. She hasn't had 9 assists in any of those games so far. So 2 official plays for me. I'll take Connecticut minus the 5. And I'll take Caitlin Clark to go under 8.5 assists. Like I said, definitely shop around, see where you can get the best number because the big does significantly change depending on what book you're looking at. That's it for this one, man. Resources that I use, I always like to make sure I share these. OddsJam will get you the sportsbook screen page, arbitrage betting. They got calculators over there. They got a lot of different sports betting tools. So check them out if you're interested. You can get 20% off your first month using code CBC. The link for that is in the description of the video. There's also a link in the description of the video for Moneyballer. 50% off your first month using code ChrisBeCappinn with 2 P's and 2 N's. And that's a one-stop shop, man, for really anything that you're looking for to handicap the games. All of the trends are there. All of the stats are there. All of the first half numbers are there. Situational spots are there. So definitely check out Moneyballer if you guys have not already. It's a beautiful, beautiful product that's just on the up and up. And they also cover, WNBA, NBA, NFL, MLB. So check out Moneyballer too, man. And that'll be it for the show. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, like the video as well, share it with a friend. Link for all my official plays when I do make them will be in the description of this video, even though I just gave you 2. As always, bet responsibly. Best of luck. Enjoy the games on Sunday. WNBA playoffs are here. I'm fired up for it. I'm excited. Hopefully we can build on the season that we had. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.